When I think back to the early years of parenting my boys, the most difficult thing was the terrible relationship that I had with my ADHD child, my hyper-impulsive one, because of all the fighting and screaming. And me punishing in the wrong way, because as I say, punishments don't actually work, just made him more aggressive. When I changed my system of parenting, my style of parenting, and implementing, as I said, all the stuff that I learned, our relationship changed dramatically. I learned to be more compassionate, I learned to be more patient, but as I say, still firm. And as a result, I never ever would have thought we'd ever have had a decent relationship, quite honestly. We've become very, very close over the years. He chats to me about everything. He tells me about his life. We discuss music, we discuss girls. He's quite responsive to me, but he's also a headstrong personality. In terms of my ADD, my inattentive son, we've never had a bad relationship. He's a quiet kind of personality, a different personality. But because he hasn't ever, the hyper-impulsive child is always the one who's more challenging and challenges parents, in my experience. The inattentive one isn't challenging in a way that they're trying to get your back up. They're just dreamy and they're kind of disconnected, and therefore it's challenging because it's frustrating. But I've never found him confrontational. If I say no, it's no. If I explain something, he accepts it. So our relationship has always been pretty easy and placid and a good relationship, an easygoing relationship. So thank goodness for that, because at the end of the day, we all want to have close, loving relationships with our kids. Obviously, the real world is that we do have conflict with them and aggravation. As a parent of two ADD and ADHD children respectively, their days I feel I've really done well. I've managed moods effectively, I've put into place all of the parenting skills that I've learned, I've helped them structure, I've helped them contain their emotions, and I've responded great. And on those days I give myself a clap on the back. I know that I certainly have a lot of knowledge, but as I say, there are days where it's harder to implement and days where it's easier, and days when my kids are more responsive than other days and not. I think everybody who attends my courses and who reads my Facebook ADHD parenting page thinks that I've got it all and I can manage 24/7, and I have a lot of friends who ask me for advice, and I know this stuff. Theoretically I know it, and practically I know it a lot of the time, but there are days when I'm overwhelmed, I'm lost, I'm confused, because they are still my children and I have a huge emotional connection with them. Sometimes my parenting strategies are very structured, where I lay out for them what is expected, and other days it's kind of as things come up. But the principles that I keep in mind when trying to deal with my children is to engage their brains if it's a new activity, stuff that is novel, that makes it interesting for them, is to, as I say, to be firm, to set boundaries, to create structure so that it's not just all over the place, and to make them feel heard and understood and listen to them, but at the same time listen to my value system or what I feel is right. The most important thing to say is that if you spend just 5 minutes a day with your child, just chatting to your child, hanging out, asking them about their interests instead of giving an instruction, because that's what we mostly do with our kids, or lecturing them, or asking them about what has to be done, or hurrying them along, that is your building block to have a good relationship with your child, and is essential, especially before adolescence. And studies have actually shown that this helps to kids to self-regulate.